they sort of see the draft, they read the situation, they say, you know what, it's a pretty good morph game. So, got the juice, gets that last pick in.
It is better than a pretty good morphling game. It's an incredible morphling game, one of the best I've ever seen, and he's got a good lane. That's one of the most inhibiting factors when it comes to this hero is can he lane, and he definitely can.
Now, very much looking forward to see how this one plays down. And yeah, we were looking just out of interest, and I mean, obviously my stat research isn't always the best, but at least from what I can see, we've only ever had a couple of games of Arme on the carry Win Ranger, and that was back at the International 2024. He lost one, he won one, so 50% win rate in pro games from him on this hero. But we'll see how he does on it today. Obviously, a little bit of a different beast as it was compared to back then.
It is no broken whirlwind spell. It's actually gonna beat Grimstroke up pretty hard here. This will definitely impact top lane, starting with bad mana, has to click the gate twice and loses half HP, so pretty good start. But yeah, Wind Ranger, a very different hero, and it's a bit strange to pick it with Warlock. Generally, Warlock wants melee heroes that can abuse the heal, so the heal actually does damage. Otherwise, the heal is just a heal. There's no damage component to it if you're on a melee hero, so a bit of a strange combo there. Not 100% sure why they picked it. It is good against Primal in the early game because you can kite him. So you have a stun whenever he presses Trample, so it's pretty good against Primal overall in the early game, but we've seen Primal be a pretty dominant hero this tournament.
Yeah, we really have. So we'll see how the matchup ends up going down there between the two of them, PMA and Arme. PMA getting the chance to get some good punches back in over towards Arme.
Super beat up right now. This mid lane, though, is DK versus Ember. It's one of Ember's worst mid matchups. There's Huskar and Monkey King are the two worst ones. And then DK is on that second tier of it's pretty bad, but Ember can survive. See how well Niku does. So far, he's doing all right, but I think he should be doing a little bit better than this. But it's not a terrible start by any means. And you definitely want to have some of that pressure through there early. You've got two range supports on NAVI with a lot of follow-up, Grimstroke and Ringmaster, so they pair very well with this DK. With Primal having a hard lane, they're going to need Niku to be a big force in these early fights.
And from XG, what do you think it was about this game that made them want to close things up with the Dawnbreaker pick, which, you know, as I say, we don't necessarily see as the go-to for that position right now. So actually, bottom, we might just catch the first blood. He's going to be fine. The Shadow Word damage will not be quite enough to kill him, but yeah, Dawnbreaker coming into the mix.
Yeah, it is thematically good against a couple of Navi's heroes. Primal Beast, DK, you commit. You stun one guy, you're trying to burst him, right? Dawn, he counters that. So in a cool way, it makes a lot of sense. You also have Warlock as a turnaround spell. So XG, they have some good dynamics here that if Navi overcommits on some jump, you've got a lot of great ways to turn it around. The issue lies in that it is a super, super good Morphling game. So XG, in some ways, is on a timer. Morphling will be the raid boss this game, and XG historically does not function very well when they're on a timer.
We'll see what they can do about the morph. I mean, is there any sort of like switch up in terms of itemization or something that we're going to see from XG to specifically target the fact that there is this morphling in the game?
Well, we'll see the Vessel from the Ember Spirit.
Yep.
That's pretty standard, though. I could see them go for an early Shivas. On Ember, we've seen BZM go for the Vessel into the Shivas before, just straight up, one into the other. Could be a pretty good game for that, as you don't have individual matchups against him, so you're going to need to itemize, right? You're going to need that heal reduction, you're going to need high DPS. I could even see a Scotty way later on in the game from Ame.
Sure, sure. Oh, and one thing I was wondering as well, I mean, that it probably wouldn't have been good, but would there have ever been a situation where Ame at the end of the draft might have considered the power shot facet because there is a morph on the game, just for those chances that you might catch him at the back of the fight trying to reset himself, or it's just not worth it? You need the Tangled.
I think you need the Tangled. It's too much damage in lane. You can see PMA is having a really, really rough time, and it's not going to get that much easier, I don't think. I don't see any way. Oh.
Going to try and get an aggressive under the tower, and they'll get away with it. FY comes in with the gank, helps them get the kill, they get the first blood. They will lose nothing to say in return as Zayats and Riddy's TP in. XG, they're able to strike first, get that first blood.
That's huge. They should be more than happy with that. And for XG, the Morphling, you know, we mentioned, he is the Giga Chad, but they have a lot of play potential. Getting this kill in mid and bottom lane going so well.
FY, see if we can find a bash or two here. Won't be quite lucky enough to find it. And PMA, he's able to swing across and back up Zayats and make sure that FY is punished. Na'Vi able to keep one another alive.
It's a good kill. We saw a collapse yesterday with a similarly hard start at the beginning of the game, and he was able to get involved with some of these kills, move their heroes around, mix things up. And I think Navi might have to do something similar. They're going to need to combine heroes a lot in this early game, or things can have the potential to get very slow for them.
Quick attempt for XXS. Won't be able to trip him up a little bit as he attempts to pull away with the hammer. But with this double bracer wand, a bit too high on that HP for them to burst through at the moment. The two of them, and down on the bottom lane, FY continues to have great presence here in these first 5 minutes. Enabled, of course, that dive around the mid. And now he's killing off heroes on the bottom lane. But, you know, close towards the tier 2. Finding some fantastic charges here on the Spirit Breaker.
These are huge kills, and DK as a hero is so reliant on that snowball, especially when you're playing against as many spells, magic damage, and skirmish as there is in XG. DK is only good against Ember if you can shut the Ember down early. If you can't, then suddenly he's got a fast vessel, he's got a lot of magic damage, and this matchup can flip totally the other way, especially when you've got Bonds and Warlock, Shadow Word for extra damage. So Niku, draft-wise, was in a decent position, but after that death, it's not so clear.
Zayat's back to top. Two supports teaming up to try and have another effort, taking down XXS. They've got the stun and they've got the burst. This time will succeed here in punishing XXS. We'll see in the mid.
He missed his chains. He tried to press it off the remnant, but did it too soon. Wouldn't have killed him anyway, but would have been some good damage.
Yeah, we'll have top to just get the deny on that illusion rune there from Riddies.
This is not a situation we see very often. DK getting his tower pressure by the Ember at 6 minutes. And can Niku really pressure the opposite tower? I don't think so. He's going to pop his ulti, but XG supports, they're around, and this DK can get spammed. But they're opting to play for Wisdom Rune.
Seeing if he can find an angle to either head back towards the bottom or towards the top. Now we're going to see Na'Vi start to drift their focus towards this bottom lane. If XG get a bit too aggressive, Na'Vi could strike back. XG also having the Ember join as well. They'll get a shackle shot opening on towards Riddies. Charge forward as well. Nothing to say. Ready to jump over with the remnants. He'll get the chains down to the three of them. Setting up here for the Solar Guardian. Very nicely set up there by Nothing to Say off the remnant with the chains. The Slider Fist comes in, takes out Zeiss underneath the tier 2. Nothing to Say. He wants to keep this dive going. Gets another chains connection in on towards Niku.
Wow.
The shackle shot comes in. Excellent aggression from XG there. They sort of sensed the fact that Na'Vi were going to try and set something, bringing in the DK towards that action bottom. The XG, you know, Nothing to Say, make sure that he matches that movement. And not only matches it, but they're ready to dive up into tier 2 towers here, 7 minutes in.
No, that's an amazing play from XG. They are playing super fast, just like they need to. We said it before, it's not something that XG normally does, but recognizing the situation, what needs to be done, and look at the differential in XP and supports. This is a huge deal. And also Ember at the highest level with the maxed out chains, that new Ember Blue we've been seeing. Ame decimating PM in lane. This Primal is just absolutely broke, not a dollar to his name, and it's not going to get that much easier for Navi with their supports being low level like this. They've got to fend off some fierce attackers.
It's early days, but got the juice on the Morph. Might have his work cut out this game. See mid to get the opening, and the stun and silence hits enough. They can take out Nothing to Say. Can they get out though? Because the shackle shot connects in on towards Niku. Charge forward as well from FY. Na'Vi, they'll get the kill, but they won't get away completely free. Do end up losing the DK in return, and very likely will lose this tier 1 tower here to the Golem push.
Bringing so many heroes to these fights. It's exactly the way they want to play. As they're getting close to that vessel, and these skirmishes are only going to get harder. It is a great Morphling game, but one of the biggest downsides of this hero always is he's very slow. He's not good at joining these early fights. He needs time to get that Vlad's, that Manta online before he can really be a big participant in the game. So in the meantime, XG, they have all the options in the world.
Yeah, and they're going to keep looking to sort of feed off Na'Vi here as the smoke comes out from XG. Let's see what they can find. They're ready to make plays up on the top side of the map. We're seeing them with, you know, pretty aggressive dives around the mid, around the bottom. Now they want to do it on the top lane. Let's see what they can find out in the tree line. Nothing to Say goes straight across over towards Riddies. They've found the support. They get the ult control in on towards Got the Juice as well. He'll go for the waveform TP. No AoE available left to stop that, so he will at least escape this. The XG have set up to very likely take yet this another tier 1 tower, and in a situation where Na'Vi they can't really do anything about this. They just sort of have to let these early objectives fall, and it's allowing XG to build quite the gold lead.
It really is. This Primal just not in a position to interact with the game yet. He TP's bottom as well, so realizing he needs to have that comeback mechanism. And NAVI, they're not a team like Tundra that's super accustomed, I think, to playing from behind. They've picked a lot of early game lineups. And Sania mentioned before, they like to play a little bit more aggressive, get some of those kills, and it's going to be difficult this game. DK hero that desperately needs that Blink Dagger before he can get involved in the game. He is rushing it this game, but he's playing against so much tankability, so much turnaround potential from XG, even when he gets it. If he does make a move and there's backup there, it could go terribly for him.
Nothing to say. FY and Xnova, they're on the hunt again for Niku. They'll find him. Solar Guardian coming in as well for further backup for Xtreme as they completely destroy the Dragon Knight yet again.
And it just shows how volatile this Dragon Knight versus Ember matchup is. They knew the lane, they put it into it. This Spirit Breaker gank, you know, you look back to that first death, sort of snowball things. FY getting a couple of huge kills in the DK and Primal early game. Can't give those up because XG, they woke up to play today.
FY in particular certainly did. He's been leading the charge numerous times here off these plays. He's going to be able to set up another one as they'll take sides down. Might cost him his life this time. He's got the juice, turns up, and is at least able to clean up FY. They've got a good control as well on towards the Ember Spirit. So NAVI, they'll take that one. They're able to bring the Morphling in, and they're finally able to sort of build together some sort of pushback against XG.
And I didn't think about this, but one downside of maxing the chains is when you're playing against Morphling, he steals max chains. That is very, very powerful. In these early skirmishes, you have to always be careful in this matchup as the Ember, because if you overextend, Morph TPs in, steals you, you will die, just like happened there. So these things matter quite a bit. Morphling getting a big injection of gold, keeping on par with Ame. They will continue to steal the Ancient stack. The real issue from NAVI remains that, hey, their carry is strong, but all their fighting heroes lower net worth by a significant margin than their XG counterparts.
The is kind of low. Shackle won't connect, but able to charge away.
That's close.
Still time that PMA's just sort of bullied off the map, having to hold back and struggling to find that sort of farm that he needs on this Primal. XG out with another smoke. FY's got his hands on Zayat, and nothing to say. He's got his hands on Riddies, so they're able to make the move on both supports at the same time, and they'll get both supports at the same time. Okay. Neutral creeps did step in onto Riddies, so they don't get him in the sense of golden XP, but the sense of time that they're just knocking NAVI off the map, it just keeps continuing.
They've got their hands everywhere like they're Dr. Octopus. Feels like XG has been all over the map this game. Kills constantly, tons of pressure. It's a great look from them. I think it's also the best way for this team to play. Ame, you make those moves early, you get involved in your other four heroes, so Ame can play the way that he likes to play, farm up, get those key items to scale into the game. XG, a great look so far.
No, for sure. For sure. And they have to do this, as you said, because most importantly as well, if they sit back, if they start to slow down, this Morphling will become the absolute king in this lobby.
He will.
If he gets the chance to. So, and yeah, I got the juice, of course. He's not falling behind. He's able to find space and keep up with the cause of XG. And if sort of that sort of position occurs where he's starting to jump an item or so ahead, if they can push this, 20, 30 minutes onwards, this Morph might just be unstoppable.
It is very possible, and I think XG knows that, which is why they're keeping the pressure up. NTS is going for a Yules. It is a good...
And they'll get a nice, very nice chance to get the jump here onto XXS, as he was not ready for that. Ame's going to try and fight into this, see what he can find in return. FY coming in just in time with the ultimate to put a stop to the attempt to TP out from Niku. So NAVI, they might have found the chance to get themselves a pick off, but it will cost them 2 lives, maybe even 3 here, as FY chasing Riddies down. Ame also ready to close in on towards him, gets the Shackle connection. It is going to cost all 3 lives, going the way of Ame as well. Triple kill for him. It was it's sort of a sweet attempt, right? They find the chance, they have an idea of where sort of this Dawnbreaker is likely to be. But the problem was, they weren't completely alone. Backup comes in, and it does not pay off for NAVI.
And that's the danger of when you're behind like this, making moves onto the enemy side of the map. Those towers are still alive. All 3 tier 1s for XG, meaning TP reactions are always going to be there if XG hasn't fallen asleep, which they are most certainly awake. So Navi, I think you've probably got to play a little more on the defensive side. Keep the farm up and look for opportunities that XG gives you, but forcing stuff is very rarely the way back into the game. It almost always means if it feels bad, it is bad.
Iku not quite able to get out in time there. Zame continues to have a very, very solid opening to this one. 4-0-3 on the win range. You're getting some good pressure on the tier 2 top now, 15 minutes in. Getting a lot done. And of course, with this Mione complete at an excellent time.
This 2-2 pressure is really big. They are going to back up as Navi is missing some heroes, but it's another big smoke trying to catch the Dawnbreaker. They're not even going to get him this time. And this Dragon Knight and Prime will fall farther and farther behind. And we saw it yesterday on Satanic's DK. What happens when this DK hero is not up to par on the net worths? A hero that thrives off of gold, off of taking the towers early. Everybody knows the DK formula. You win mid, you take the mid tower, and you make the game really difficult for the enemy to play, but that's not been the case. NTS played the lane well, and FY with the gank rotations have totally shifted the momentum of this game.
Navi might be able to just sort of settle for the push onto the tier 1 on this bottom lane, whilst they do have the 3 of them down here. They're still very cautious about how they show, though. They know that Xtreme will not be afraid of turning up and pulling together a defense, especially if Nothing to Say has a tasty rune, and he certainly does. Amplified damage rune in the bottle, ready for the next move. FY already comfortable enough to just sort of show on his own down here, just alleviate some of the pressure and continue to sort of hold the game in this position where Navi, despite the fact that they have this lineup around this Dragon Knight, they're not able to push down these towers. And XXS continuing to pump up the net worth there for the team as he finds 4 tasty bounty runes still sat on their half of the map, somewhere that Navi just hadn't managed to make it over to yet.
Up 8k gold now at 16 minutes. It's a huge lead. So XG, this smoke is a little off, I think. You kind of know where Navi's heroes are. I don't really think it was super likely that they're going to catch anyone, as Ame wasting a little bit of time. Does TP Dop now to try to rectify that.
There's under vision, so they've got the information, and it's enough for Niku to get out with a blink TB.
Navi avoiding these ganks well.
Radiant's top tower is under attack.
Got the juice, continuing to keep it cool, getting that space. Has yet to be found. And start working on towards the butterfly next. I mean, because what would you say, at what point does the fact that this morph's getting the farm become an issue for XG, despite XG having this early game lead?
I think it's still a while before it's a real big issue. Gag's ulti, oh boy.
Straight in, on towards PMA. There will be an attempt from the side here. Got the juice, thinking, you know, maybe they can try and get involved in the action, but it's so difficult right now. He's now going to opt to TP out, realizes very quickly that it's still not quite time yet for him to get stuck in. Everything is resting on his shoulders from Navi's perspectives. They need him to have a perfect game.
The real issue is they don't have a way to commit in these fights. So even if Morph is super farmed, how can they jump a guy and kill him when there's so much response? This Dawnbreaker Ags, they don't have a real answer for it yet. They definitely can't kill people through it. And kiting it is going to be really difficult. There's a lot of stuns on XG. These BKBs very far away for the 2 fighting cores of Navi. They're working on them, but still just a dream.
Radiant's middle tower is
under
attack.
He's setting up this play. Of course, meanwhile, FY was able to kill off Zayas. They'll go in with the ultimate, but immediately Ame puts it to a stop with the shackle shot. Navi not going to get the chance for a free pick off here. They have to run.
Man.
Now, FY, after dealing with Zayas with the help of Nothing to Say earlier, he's also going to find the chance to close in on Aridis, and with the backup of Ame, set up for yet another one. FY on this Spirit Breaker having a phenomenal time so far.
He is. I think FY at the start of his join to the team looked quite shaky and had a lot of rough games. You could feel the rust, I think, of not playing at that highest level of competitive Dota in a while, but in this game in particular, he's looked great. had massive impact and a big reason why XG is in such a dominant position so far. So kudos to him.
And Navi, I mean, outside of sort of got the Juice's farm, are there any sort of big item timings that might enable them to try and make a move or try and go for some sort of all-in play to slow down this pressure that Xtreme's getting away with?
The BKBs are definitely really big. The DK1 is close, but they're going to need 2, I think, to fight. It's now being another support kill.
Yep, they're just going to continue to bleed these support kills out on the map.
That's one of the weaknesses of having these 2 squishy follow-up range supports, right? Neither one of them is sort of this Chad that does things on its own. You don't have a Bane or something like that, a hero that is going to get up in there and do stuff on his own. They're both helper supports by nature. They need to play with a core or they don't really do that much. But their cores are either too weak to fight or it's got the Juice playing carry and he needs to keep farming for those later timings. So they have no one to help. So they're sort of walking around the map aimlessly, hence why they're dying nonstop.
Niku is going to be pushing out pretty far on this bottom lane. I mean, that was always going to be a risk. And he has surely not got a way out of this one. He's trying to juke around through the tree line. There's nowhere to run.
He did buy the BKB at least, so didn't lose any gold. That's something.
And at the same time on the mid, XG, they're already looking to try and set up an extra play. They've got the charge coming in onto PMA. Remnant still at the ready to close in. PMA will turn with the ult, does that backup. They'll try and throw everything down onto the Ember, but the Yules is there, and he's also got a shield broom ready as well after it to keep him protected. They're trying to go all in on him. Do they have enough control to kill him off? They don't. He's able to get the slight chains off, nothing to say. He's going to be fine. X-Nova also able to keep himself alive. FY thinking about getting back in. Will be held back by the Yules. Even there with sort of 4 of them in that high ground position, they just don't have the firepower to take down the Ember Spirit.
They don't. Got the Juice. Chatting up a little bit on Ame. Respect that. But he should have died there. A little bit slow on the whip from Zayat. I think you can tell which teams are comfortable playing from behind and which aren't. Navi not on that same tier as a team like Spirit. If the execution there is a little bit better, they get this Ember kill, maybe they get an extra support as well, and suddenly it's a huge turnaround. But instead, you get nothing in return. And just continues to be XG dominance across the map. Gonna get a free Tormentor now as well. Boosting that gold lead up above that 10K mark. And it tends to be this sort of point that it feels like it just becomes incredibly difficult to fight. The items amassing just a bit too much. And it's not just the core items. While there's definitely a gap there, these support items, drums and almost an entire Shadow Blade and Spear Breaker and the Solar Force Staff on this Warlock. Sorry, not Force Staff, just Solar. The floppy hat. I lied. Still, Solar. Very strong.
Radiant's middle tower is under attack.
Roshan is back up. So XG, if they want, they can head over towards the pit. Look to try and get the Aegis soon. Navi, again, just looking towards got the Juice and asking him if he's got this one in the bag. And I'm sure he's telling them he has. He's a confident lad, I'm sure. He's got the farm, you know, he's, again, keeping on par with that of Ame.
He is.
He's got a lot of work to do in this game. The Butterfly is done. Queuing up the BKB next on the Morph.
Makes a lot of sense. He's going to need to be able to commit to these fights, get right in the middle, tank all this random peripheral damage XG has. If you look at their heroes, BKB is not specifically super insane against any one of their heroes, but all of them together, you just need it because there's too much to purge. Manta is not enough, and you have to be able to actually commit. There's none of this kiting back and forth, I think, in this game, as they're just too far behind. You need to be able to get in there and actually kill a guy during your limited stun durations that you have.
Because when these fights do go down and got the Juices ready to fight alongside the rest of Navi, what do you think the sort of target prioritization is going to be looking like for him in the fight? Like, who's his #1 kind of hero that he's like, I'm going to pop BKB and get in and just fully commit on taking this target down first?
I think this is the kind of game where he doesn't actually get to choose. I think he just sort of has to hit what's close to him. And they need to be ready to cast their spells properly. You need to consider there's a Dawn ult, right? So I think it's probably going to look like DK starts, and then and kites back, presuming Dawn ults. And then Primal jumps in after and grabs the Dawn and you kill the Dawn. Something along those lines. If there's a rock as well, then you have to kite even more after that. But You're looking for this stun, kite to Donald, kite a little bit back, and then go back in again right afterward. Is sort of what you want. Morphling, if he tries to focus the supports in the back or kill squishy targets, the rest of Navi's heroes will just get run over by the Ember and Morphling. Sorry, Ember and Wind Ranger, so they need to stay tight-knit.
And do you want to see them do this, Navi? Try and interrupt this Roshan?
They're a bit late. I think they're a bit too late. If it was earlier, I could see it, but not like this.
And Nothing's already in position at the side, ready to stop any sort of blink attempt. And indeed, the Roshan's gone. Aegis into the hands of Arme. Now with the charge from FY, of course, Xtreme. They'll see if they can maybe chase down some of NAVI here. The change in the charge in over towards Scott the Juice. Will put the mantle to the side. Arme gets the shackle in. Will be able to not quite quickly take him down. The heals coming in with the Solar Guardian, though. Nothing to say. He's going to be saved. Able to get the Yules off. The slight change is there. They've killed off Riddies. And now they're ready to chase NAVI down. Charge in from FY. Knocks back Got the Juice here with the ult. Got the Juice still alive, though. Waveform into the TP. Could he survive this? He's out.
Oh my gosh, he's the luckiest man on planet Earth.
Oh my goodness, I can't believe he got out of there.
Dude, he missed like 17 hits in a row. Go buy a lottery ticket right now, or everyone in chat will be mad at you. You need to use this luck. Do it for her. My goodness.
That's crazy. I mean, obviously still not a great situation for NAVI, but that definitely could have been a whole lot worse.
Absolutely. Somehow it ended up barely even being bad at all when it looked like it was going to be the game-ending moment where they get wiped and it becomes insurmountable. But Morphling was surviving still at that 0 death mark, and it feels like Navi, while they are most certainly down, they are not out. And if they can get this one fight, Morphling get a couple of kills, this can be a game worth watching. For now, though, XG definitely still in the driver's seat, and they have not made that crucial mistake yet.
Not able to get the last fizz. It did look like Arme sort of stopped because he tried to reposition himself and step a bit away from the morph. I wonder if he could have maybe had the chance of at least rolling a few more attempted attacks in. Either way, wasn't able to do so. Not able to bring the morph down. So Navi, whilst they're still in a very tough position, they're not out of it yet.
They're not. They've got some good wards here. Hope it does spot them, but maybe they can go on him here.
So they're very sort of cautious about what lies behind X-Nova.
Oh boy. Oh boy!
Ooh, that's close!
Oh my goodness.
If he was stepped a little bit further to the right, Zayat, FY would have definitely caught poor old Got the Juice in that sort of drive-by situation, but Got the Juice out with the TP.
This Morphling is the most unintentional Neo I've ever seen.
He's dodging these deaths.
It's actually ridiculous.
And that's what they need, Navi.
They need a little luck on your side. Sometimes it's better to be lucky than good, and Got the Juices both. We'll see if it's enough, though, to claw their way back from the pit that is a 12K gold lead.
Because the BKB, it's getting close. It's getting close. Just about 1,000 gold away, and he'll have that. And then after that, are you continuing to build for survival, or are you starting to... Are you going for that big right-click item?
I think you need the MKB, probably. Maybe he goes for Daedalus and says, Wind Ranger's too hard to kill, so he's got the Lincolns. We're going to kill everyone else first, and then we'll see what happens with this Wind Ranger. Could go either route, but definitely tankability is not an option. They need to be able to burst these targets. You saw Ember live just barely in that last fight. Oh boy.
See if they get this shackle shot. There's the opening. Got the Juice. He's got out of the last few fights. I don't think he's getting out of this one. Or maybe he is. Mansa's there in time. Wait forward to the high ground. They're going to try and chase on forward. They want this Morphling dead. The chains are there.
All right,
this time round, surely no way out. They'll finally get the chance to bring down that one hope for NAVI this game and kill the Morphling off.
That is going to be a big problem. Ame almost all the way to an MKB now. And these fights are not going to get any easier. This Ags on Ember is also making the map just suffocating. Between the Spiritbreaker and Ember, their catch is just everywhere. Dawnbreaker following up an entire AC now in this Dawn. You felt like Got the Juice had the potential to bring people down before, but with this extra boost of armor, tanking everyone up, it's only getting harder from this point on.
Yeah, that Def, of course, going to postpone the finishing of the BKB. Obviously, around him on the other cores, they're still struggling, both Niku and PMA, to get that next item done. So we're going to take them quite some time. You know, PMA obviously with this Blade Mail queued up. That's not going to be there anytime soon, though, either. Still just 800 gold in towards it. And Niku at least able to try and look towards a bigger item pickup. Nullifier about 400 gold away.
Not a bad choice by any means. Good against the Solar, good against Spirit Breaker, good against the Ember in the Yules and the Shield, so gives them a little bit more potential to burst some hero down, but the issue still remains of this Dawnbreaker ult is just going to turn things, and Navi, they need to fight so quickly. A long fight, they have no chance against XG, but the burst is tough too. XG playing together, not giving Navi any opening to get back into the game. Dota2 still hasn't completed his BKB yet. It felt like he was 500 gold away 5 minutes ago.
That's top. FY, he's gone and found them in the tree line. The charge catches them by surprise. It's Zayat's gone. Niku shortly to follow.
And this butterfly is already useless with Ama having the MKB. Things are stacking up against Navi, and Ame proving all the haters wrong, proving me saying it's a weird win manager pick, the stats saying he's 1-1 all time, 8-0-5, he's had a great game, and just shut down PMA.
They'll try and get the grab onto FY here, Navi, but they're not going to get away with attempting that one. Riddies is dead. PMA can even escape. Nothing to say is hot on the chase, ready to dive to tier 3s, kills off PMA. As Navi, they might not want to stick in this for much longer. The Remnant in, nothing to say, ready to go up towards the fountain. Double kill for him as he kills Zayat off, dancing around the base of Navi.
Oh boy.
Here comes the push.
Yeah, there's definitely nothing you can do about this until your 3 other heroes have spawned, so this Rack's most likely gone with the wind.
Maybe they can try for sort of the last stand here, or for the second set of racks, if XG do stick around and try and push for that as well.
Looks like they're going to play it safe, pinging the Tormentor, taking a page out of Falcon's book and amassing that ginormous gold lead.
21k here, 31 minutes in, 28-7. Xtreme looking very, very solid and playing nice and fast as well. Very much from the start, you know, those first sort of 10 minutes, getting the action going with these great moves across the map from FY and the Spirit Breaker, and has been no stopping them as a unit since.
The early game really was the key to this game, and it's just I'm so pleasantly surprised. It's so out of character for XG to play like that. So often we see them play, you know, sort of this Paravision style of just farm, 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 but there was no farming this game, only killing.
Navi coming in with the smoke, knowing that this sort of twin gate move will come in. Do they actually want to take this fight though? Niku's going to try with the jump in, but the Solar Guardian's coming in to make sure that there should be the chance for the Golem still to be dropped. No, they are able to burst through X-Nova before he can get the ult off at least. Now though, XG turn over towards got the juice. We'll get the BKB off. PMA's got the grab for now, but nothing to say is ready to start diving over towards the backlines. PMA caught again by the chains. As see at the side, an attempted TP out there for got the juice, but FY catches him again with the charge by. He's left behind. It's going to be a full team wipe. XG very much stamping sort of the end to this game as Navi, with everybody dead, only a couple of buybacks left available. I don't think they've got much left in the tank.
No, they're just down too much gold. I don't even think they did anything super poorly in that fight. It's just, they're just too tanky, too much damage, too much of everything on XG. What can you do?
Now the push coming in. Navi looks like they might try and just go for one last shot at a team fight to see if they can catch XG making some sort of mistake. XG playing in a way that does not lead you to believe that any such thing is going to be coming from them anytime soon. They have looked fantastic here in this game one.
They most certainly have an entire Ags complete on Ame now on top of the MKB. 10-0-9, 24k net worth. He is owning.
And they're ready to get in on this. As they focus towards PMA, we'll be able to keep his distance and survive. The Solar Guardian comes down, Riddies is gone. Wheel of Wonder dropped down by Zayas, but XXS and Nothing to say go straight over towards him, take him out. Refresher into a second Solar Guardian allows them to continue diving up under the tier 4s. PMA to fall. Niku trying to at least bring Arme down, but he will be able to do so, so they at least get Arme. Can they get anything else, though? It's triple buyback here coming out from NAVI, putting everything into this hold. They will manage to push back Xtreme, finding that chance, to kill Arme. They'll still end up losing the mid barracks, but NAVI, they're not giving up yet.
They're not. Got the juice. He's one of those players in pubs that will never, ever, ever give up. Almost Nigma adjacent and putting some of that into practice here. A big kill.
Absolutely. And going the way of Got the Juice as well. I think he turned into the Ember at the M right and was able to snipe Arme with the sleight of fist at the end of this.
It's huge. And before the next fight, he will have the MKB finish, so the winners will be able to die easier. They've still got one last fight in them. It will not be an easy fight by any means.
Absolutely not.
On Dawnbreaker.
And honestly, just the fact that Na'Vi sort of just throwing their lives in towards this fight kept the game
got another
going.
kill.
And now finding the chance to get out and get another. And again, look who gets it. Got the juice. He's just ended 2 massive streaks. So the influx of gold that this Morph's just received, because you got to remember as well, right? He was able to naturally respawn on that defense. He did not have the buyback. He did not have to buy back. So this is becoming a pretty stacked Morph league. If Got the Juice is able to do this somehow, this is going to be the definition of why you do have teams do this in drafts when they sort of see the chance to just get the last pick Morph, even if it might mean that other elements of the game are going to be sacrificed heavily. If you're then able to pull back a game where you're 30k behind, that could be the magic of certain players on this hero.
I love this from Na'Vi. You've got the Spearbreaker kill. Keep the ball rolling. Look for more of those kills. You want to snowball. You don't want to let XG a chance to recover, get those big ults back up.
They could have eyes on X-Nova. They get the grab on into him straight away. Solar Guardians coming in. Will put a stop to the play for the 2 of them, and they're both dead.
Gosh.
They tried to go for the play there, and that is absolutely it. GG is called. They had a bit of a chance there, but they couldn't quite kill it. They couldn't burst through X-Nova, and that Solar Guardian play just completely destroyed them. They gave it their best effort, Na'Vi, but overall, domination from Xtreme in this game. And as you say, in a style that's very refreshing to see from them, and I wouldn't be XG in return. They did have the ultimate last pick, and they do respond with this Nature's Prophet. Thoughts, feelings? What do we got?
It's a pretty good response. You don't beat the Huskar in lane, and you're also not that good against Huskar on a one-to-one basis. It used to be really good because you rush the Vessel, but Huskar is cauterized now, so Vessel is no longer even good at all against Huskar because you have 2 ways to dispel it. But he can gank Dragonite, and he can gank the supports very easily with Clockwork, so I want to see them pairing up, getting these early kills, and fight elsewhere, right? I think the panel mentioned he can leave his lane, and that's good. You want to leave the lane, you want to get kills elsewhere, and you want to enable your Baden to get really farmed and your Primal to get really farmed, because these heroes with a lot of items can fight back against Huskar.
The battle begins.
Because overall, from Xtreme, we did see an attempt there for the bounty room. We'll end up, though, with XG being the ones to claim 3 of the bounties to start this game off. But in terms of how XG's approach this game differs to what we did see them succeed with in game 1, what are sort of the similarities, the contrasts, you think, in how they've actually turned up for this game 2 draft XG?
They have way less spells. I think it's one of the biggest differences. Clockwork Chen are very much, they're sort of like helper heroes, but in a low damage way. They're there, they're causing disruption in fights, they're annoyance, but they're not really nukes and spells. XG's lineup, they definitely need a good start. Last game, they benefited from a good start, but they didn't necessarily need it. This game, they kind of need it. Chen, Clockwork, Primal Nature's Prophet, it's no spell. So if you fall behind, you're playing against a Warlock, a Shadow Demon, you're going to have some real teamfight issues.
It's top lane. I imagine will become just, a bit of a farm fest, right? Between a DK off lane and a Baden safe lane, or it could either be under pressure.
Maybe DK can be under pressure. I don't think the Baden will be under pressure.
Got the juice, he's dead.
Oh boy, that's not good. Why does he have Scream level 1? I feel like this makes no sense. Like, I also feel like he should not have a Quelling Blade. Like, Furion is not going to TP on you level 1, and you can skill Blink. I feel like if you're picking Quap against Primal in lane, the whole point should be that you skill Dagger and you crush this guy in lane. So to skill Scream to me It's like, why not just pick a different carry hero? I don't get it.
Yeah, I guess we didn't quite catch the point, I think, where he skilled it, but maybe it was just in a situation where it's like, I have to skill it and press it to get that range creep CS, and obviously in doing so, they just walk up, catch him in the cogs, kill him off. So not the sort of start that he was hoping to get there, got the juice.
Yeah, not ideal, but he is still doing really well in the CS department. Primal has some boxy inventory right now. He's got the locked ring of regen and boots. So he's, I guess, going for Tranquils to deal with what he thought was going to be early harass from the dagger, but it seems like that's not going to be the case. It's going to be Scream or farm-oriented Quap. They are doing the wave pull, so they'll be just fine. But mid it should not be this bad, especially with 3 bounty runes. The early wave should be a little bit better than this if you're on, so this is a pretty rough sign. But Nico also going for a non-standard build, buying the wand before boots. Don't really agree with this. Nature's Prophet does not cast that many spells in lane. Could just buy the stick as well, but still doing really well in this CS department.
No, he certainly is. Certainly is. And, you know, I feel like we've had the chance to sort of sit back and watch a few different Huskar performances. No, Niku, how does he sort of rank as a Huskar player?
He is definitely very competent.
Yeah.
Like, I think below the tier 1 Huskars, the Amar, Malrine, and Crystallis, he's on that second tier, I think. You can see he's master tier on Dota buff. I've played against this Huskar many times, or Dota Plus. I've played against this Huskar many times. He is a very competent Huskar. He's not the Ultra Omega Giga Huskar players, but he knows what he's doing.
Sure. He's not going to be making kind of mistakes in terms of, like, looking to take fights that aren't necessarily good fights to take, you'd imagine.
Yeah, I don't think so. I think he'll have a pretty good idea of when he's strong and when he's not.
Definitely so far so good with how much he's been able to just take out of that mid matchup. 15 and 10 against the 7 and 5. And so you were sort of alluding to down on the bottom, with that Scream of Pain skill at level 1, obviously level 2 you have to get the blink. You imagine, well, actually see Riddies get caught again in the cogs and nothing to say. He'll TP over to make sure they do get this kill. I'll take him down. Got the juice, will be okay. Has the blink if he feels threatened. In fact, he's happy to get a bit of damage traded back in towards the 3 of them whilst they're all fatal bonded up. But yeah, with this sort of start to the skill build, you just imagine he's not going to take any dagger at all. It's just going to be purely Scream and blink.
Probably so. I think going 0-1-1 then back to dagger makes almost no sense. No. So yeah, at this point, I think you're probably just doing the Scream build, which looks like what he's going to do. But
as you feel that because this is what Got the Juice is doing, the Primal's kind of happy about this.
I think so. Yeah. I think he's going to be pretty chill. Eventually, he'll be able to cut waves very freely. Queen and Warlock, they're not going to stop him. So at some point, if he gets enough HP, he can definitely go cut these waves. Or they can keep feeding off the supports, right? Nature's Prophet, that's what he wants to do. We can see the CS mid. He's not having a happy time. So he needs these kills elsewhere. They want to keep making these skirmishes happen.
For the most part, I know it's going to be sort of hard to do the exact maps, but say you're a Nature's Prophet mid in this situation, you know, if you leave the lane to make this TP play, get the chance to get a support kill, is one sort of support kill in the early game worth the time of sort of missing a lane where you're contesting CS against a Huskar?
Yeah, it is.
Just one kill's enough.
It is. Yeah, especially in a lane that you're losing like that. Maybe it's a little bit different if you're stomping, but to be honest, even if you're doing really well, that's just Nature's Prophet's here as a hero. Nature's Prophet allows you to spread the gold out more evenly among your team in the early game, which is a really valuable thing that not a lot of heroes can do. So even though you may not be the strongest yourself compared to if you're a different hero or if you're just laning, it's just better for your team and something that only he can do. That's the deepest ward I've ever seen NTS just placed. Holy crap, it's behind the tower.
Yeah, good luck D-warding that one. I'll see top lane, talking about nothing to say. TP's over, he's going to be able to block off the escape of PMA. So again, doing a great job of seizing these opportunities to get involved on the side lanes, whilst there's only so much you can do here in the mid.
It's good stuff. It's what he needs to be doing. NTS knows the assignment very well. And they know this move is coming, it looks like.
Looking towards Niku. Bottom lane, XXS taking a lot of damage. In fact, he's just dead. Able to kill him off there. We'll see this attempt from XG to set things up on towards Niku.
Clock is so bad against Huskar, he can't press his W. This is one of the worst matchups in the entire game. You just do absolutely nothing. I don't know. None of your spells do anything. It's such a horrible matchup. And why they picked the Huskar.
Now, Ame also joined the mid lane for that sort of potential fight, but yeah, Navi able to walk away from it. Ame will make his way back up to the top, takes the Arcane Rune on the way past.
It's a really good TP by him. looking for those turnaround plays on Huskar. He's now just going to get a freebie. Do not want to be giving those to Huskar. But yeah, you have to look for these turnaround kills, right? You need to move your heroes around, mix things up.
Then to say again with a good block off here. So if they have the damage to take PMA down at this point, Arme's coming in with the backup. The body blocks continue to be very good. Another round in the Sprout. Excellent Sprout usages and TP usages, honestly, from nothing to say. He is, as you say, pretty much textbook giving an example of how to play yourself out of a tough matchup when you're it's nature's prophet against the Huskar in the mid lane. He's making sure that he's making up for it elsewhere on the map. The seat down on the bottom side, they'll look to contest the Wisdom. FY is going to try and stand his ground to get Got the Juice and Riddies off this. Decent damage with the battery assault, so Got the Juice has got to be a little bit careful as they try and split it between the two of them. FY can't stand his ground any further. Got the Juice is going to jump forward and will manage to burst FY down just in time. Got a little bit scary for himself there, Got the Juice. But Na'Vi, they will get away with taking the Wisdom for themselves and getting those kills.
It's really important, very, very good that they don't overreact to XG's pressure. They make pressure of their own and make stuff happen on this bottom lane.
XXS back in action and looking to make plays towards Niku in the mid. Oh, I get these Sprouts though, sort of trapping him in. He'll still be able to jump over to safety, Niku. So he'll survive.
That was so high skill from him. He walked right up to the cliff, so the Primal bounced him up. Only reason he lives there, I think if he runs straight down the lane, it's very possible he dies. Actually making really good moves.
Zayat managed to Quelling Blade his way out of the Sprout, but XXS hot on the chase here, also with Arme. As XG continue to show they're not afraid to pretty much bring the entire team here to the mid lane at just 8 minutes into this game.
It's in a lot of ways very reminiscent of the game from Spirit last night with the Abaddon Primal Cores. Both Yatoro and Collapse got super involved in that game, and Ame and XXS playing similarly, super fast, just like last game, and not letting nothing to say sit there and just get beat up by this Huskar, but bringing their heroes, defending their towers. The tower's still alive is very big, and staying ahead in the gold lead slightly still.
Bottom. The setup on Got the Juice will go for the blink out Sonic Wave as well to push back XXS, but X-Nova's wrapping in from the side. There's nowhere for Got the Juice to run. Solid movements here from XG to ensure that they can find the opportunity to get these early kills and just make sure they're able to match and sort of just get that trade-off for having the fact that on the other side, Na'Vi, they do have this Huskar that had this very easy lane, been able to get to a great spot, but Xtreme, they're just kind of getting trades on the map and in the game as a whole.
They're playing very, very well right now. They're going to make a move on him. Oh, man.
He's got the borrowed time at the ready. He does have FY by his side. Is there any way he can save him with some sort of cog pushback on them? It will allow time for Arme to get a shield off. He's got to get away from this. So that was the Golem, the Dragon form, and Arme will not fall to that.
It will maybe get top tower, though. There is no glyph.
Bottom lane. Got the Juice is getting got upon. We'll see the TP over from Niku. They'll make the jump over towards Nothing to Say. Both TPs, the item and the spell being used, so Nothing to Say has to sort of stick around. He's got Arme and XXS still by his side, but Niku able to push them back. Got the Juice, jumps in with a burst. Niku gets the double. He's ready to get the triple. This is going to be the Huskar clean up, but ultra kill as he gets X-Nova as well. The power of the Huskar there. You're not able to 100 to 0 him. He can just sit, stack up the flames, and clean you up.
That got a little scary there for a second, but Niku played it super well, saved the wand and the Fairy Fire till right at the end, used the Dispel from Berserker's Blood perfectly, and that is big. So one of the things about Huskar is he's not very good at TPing and joining fights early until he has that armlet. So Niku didn't force things, got to his timing, and made the proper move at the right time. And just clutched up.
That really did.
This is enormous.
Yeah, as you say, just sort of holding each of the abilities, having the inner fire at the ready as soon as XXS tried to charge in. And just at one of those points where, you know, after the first two of you have died on Xtreme, you're kind of like, what can you do? We're going to be losing two more heroes here.
Yeah, and off of that, finishes an entire Sange on top of his armlet. This Huskar is untouchable right now. They cannot go near him. He will kill all 5 of them if they try to fight him.
Absolutely not. Yeah, they have to avoid him entirely.
And now the threat becomes, now that they have control of XG's triangle, that Roshan is at risk at any point. But there will be a little bit of a dance. They have Clockwork, they have Nature's Prophet who can TP in, and their heroes are not that bad at skirmishing it.
Oh, FY.
Oh boy.
He's going to immediately try for the TP out. Not going to make it. damage from Niku, enough to kill off these supports easily through the duration of attempted TPs away.
Niku's playing amazing. I love this aggressive posturing, taking the enemy triangle, understanding he is unfightable right now, and abusing that to the fullest extent.
So how early do you go for the rush? You just go for it now?
He can definitely do it now. He can solo it.
Oh, let's watch this. Let's judge his Huskar into Roche attempts, because it's always entertaining, even though it very rarely ends with the Huskars messing up. And almost certainly won't here. He's got the Shadow Word. He's going to be playing it safe, Niku.
And he knows. He's toggling every hit. If you toggle
That's
every
what
hit,
you wanted to see the other day, right?
nothing can go wrong if you toggle every hit. With the Shadow Word, he doesn't need to.
No, for sure, because he's got that much HP to play with and that HP regen to play with.
It takes a little bit longer with up to 4 points in Burning Spears. Oftentimes you'll wait for 4, but doing it with 3 is okay. Aegis probably could look at this, though, if he wants to get real spicy. Nah, he's got it.
He's got it.
Yep.
12-minute Aegis here on Niku, and also a haste rune to boot.
That is big. And similarly to last game, you look at XG's heroes, we talked about their lack of spells. Clockwork Chen, what are these heroes going to do in a fight?
And what is this clock ever going to do about the Huskar?
Oof.
I think, as the panel said, not a fun game to be the clock, especially when the Huskar's getting this far ahead. You're just dead every time, and there's nothing you can do.
Nice play from PMA. Blinks onto Ame, burns his ulti, and TP's out. And now got the juice. He's almost cosplaying a mid-hero right now, blinking up the top, 0-4-4 with the Kaya on Queen. Saying, Niku, you can play the carry. I'm mid now.
I mean, Ame is going to get healed up here by the hand of God, but PMA's in with the jump. They get the stun on towards him. We'll get another shield off Ame. He'll try and run, but the damage is done. Ame is dead. Got the juice. Reading that sort of opportunity to make that aggressive move, knowing that without the borrowed time, Ame doesn't stand a chance if Got the Juice gets a +1, and it's a good +1 to join him there, the DK coming in.
This is an awesome play for them, and I'm really positively surprised that they were able to make this recovery after they got smacked around game 1, saying, holy crap, they just rocked the tier 2.
I mean, they're ready to keep this game fast. 13 minutes in, Riddy's ready to start beating into the tier 2, and very happily sort of saying to XG, what are you going to do about this? I'll put the fortification, but unlikely to be bringing any sort of hero defense up towards this tier 2 tower this early on into the game.
And the answer to that question is they're not going to do anything about this. That's a free tier 2. They're probably the earliest tier 2 I've seen this tournament so far. And Niku, great gameplay the entire time. Doesn't get baited into bringing too many heroes up top. Knows that actually has no interest in fighting. And he's farming the whole time, keeping that top net worth, building that gold lead. And mid-tier 2, it's sweating big time right now, as it knows what's coming.
Niku, ready to have a look over towards these Ancients. Wants to make sure that XG do not feel comfortable to even try and clear those up for themselves. He can pretty much run wherever he wants. It's going to take quite the combination of spells and abilities to kill this Huskar or get anywhere close to killing him. Of course, let alone the second time for the next 2.5 minutes whilst he has this Aegis. And XXS tries to get up on the cliff and TP away, but they know he's up there. They put a stop to it. Na'Vi starting to really rack up the kills, build up this lead. And XG, not a whole lot they can do. They can at least try and make them work for this. They won't make them work for it that hard. PMA easily able to chase him down there with a blink back off cooldown.
Just some light work. Mow the lawn, something like that.
And what do they do? What do they do, XG?
Looking for a trade on bottom, but he should be fine. Pick up the 2.
Up the Sonic Wave, ready to sort of use defensively to push them back. He's perfectly fine, and he's got Riddy's by his side. No Golem, of course, but even Riddy's at this point, he's not afraid to sort of start running at them as the support Warlock.
An upside, though, for XG is Ame, during all of this, got to run all the way down top lane for free, push it back in the other way to Na'Vi, and farmed a lot in the meantime. So he's very close to that Radiance, and they're not getting pinned in too much in the map. You see them sneaking out. X-Nova, he didn't leave after those kills. He stays down in this bottom lane. FY up the top, so they're avoiding this dangerous middle part. I say that XXS kind of runs in and feeds.
No way out for him. It's a bit of a rough effort there. He got sort of tempted to go in on the quad, but I think he didn't get the sort of memo that there was no one there to back him up. He was doing that alone.
Yeah, slightly different pages, I think. And The real loser in all of this is nothing to say. Look at his net worth. He got a bunch of kills early.
Where
but
is it?
That's what I'm saying. You need a microscope.
It's getting rough.
Magnifying glasses. I feel like I'm bird watching, trying to find his net worth.
Riddy's there, putting a stop to the TP out. They'll get him.
Okay. Happens. And that's probably another tier 2 down. No glyph for Xtreme. And they could even potentially look at high ground here.
Should find the chance to at least pick off the support. Zayas will go down, but actually TP's coming in. Navi, they want to make sure that actually pay for that. They'll get FY. They won't get the chance to chase Arme, though. He's out safely. But yeah, these towers going down so early in this game. To Navi, we very much saw game 1 Xtreme play very fast relative to what we're usually able to see from them. At this game, Navi, they're speeding it up even more in their favor. This is some super fast Dota from Navi.
It really is. And Niku, you can see he knows what the game plan is. There's something here for Xtreme.
There's 2 cores trying to kill him, and they're struggling to. They'll finally get him. Takes quite a bit, and it's going to likely cost them at least XXS's life.
Yo, oh, he didn't have mana. Okay. I was going to say, you just sold your buddy there, but no. He didn't have mana.
Got the juice. See if we can try and chase on for more here. He's feeling very much strong enough to go in with the aggressive blink. I mean, he knows that this Nature's Prophet's not got a whole lot. Nothing to say, incredibly poor at this point, and Arme...
What a beast.
Also just having a run. They hit him with the scan, they know where he is. They're going to be hot on the chase here for Arme. And he's got nowhere to go. He's got to borrow time, but he's not got a TP, so they'll be slowly able to deal with him. There is maybe backup coming in. FY's considering getting over. I mean, Xnova's coming with the wraparound, and I tell you what, the support's joining in has allowed them to turn it and kill off Zayas and keep Arme alive, so the backup from the support's actually enough to protect Arme this time round.
And Xnova, you can see how important it was that he stayed down there and kept farming, gets the mech because he didn't back up, didn't overreact to this pressure, and gets to wrap around and turn this play around. It's great play from him.
Absolutely. They could not afford for Arme to go down there.
In the meantime, Niku went for the bots, playing for this sort of map control playstyle, but won't have the BKB right now, though, so actually has a little bit of a window where this Huskar is not quite the end-all, be-all. He's still very strong, but if he does overextend, it is possible for him to die.
Navi. A minute or so until they'll see the chance to go for another early Roche in this game. TP coming in on the mid from nothing to say. Whew. He's got to be careful how he shows himself. Off the side there, now Arme's farming the triangle, and borrowed time still on cooldown for 7 seconds. Can they kill him in 5? It's not looking likely. We just PMA on the front. It's close, but there's the borrowed time.
That's big.
Immediately. And FY will get caught out on his own down the lane. Tier 2's gone. So pre-20 minutes, all tier 1s, all tier 2s taken here by Navi. And they find Arme still out on the map, was not able to get back to safety. So still struggles here on XG. Navi in prime position to start teasing at the high ground.
This is super impressive stuff from Navi. One of the fastest games I think we've seen, maybe the fastest from any of the games we've cast. They say, screw the Tormentor, we're taking your base. As they're up to the high ground. I'm not actually sure if I agree with this decision. No Aegis. They could have played it a little bit slower. This is a slightly riskier approach.
Let's see how much they want to stick around after this fortification. I mean, it looks like they're going to hold back straight away. So happy with just forcing that out.
Getting the glyph is not bad, but probably not the absolute most effective play they could have done. Getting up the Tormentor for free, probably not ideal. But they're still in a very dominant position. The BKB now up on Niku. And they're keeping those lanes, and Niku TP's top with the bots, knows it's so hard for them to kill him, and he's running straight down this lane.
And got the juice. Will pretty much have the Aghanims online for the next fight. Smoke up from the supports. Navi, they've got their ultimates ready to drop. They've got their eyes on nothing to say. He's going to try for the TP, but immediately PMA and got the juice straight on top of him. Same time, Xnova will manage to TP away. FY actually able to get the Shrine of Wisdom out before he TP'd out of that one, so a little bit of a win there for FY.
Every little bit helps. But man, Navi They leveled up so much from last game, sort of cosplaying Huskar in real life, saying, you hit me, I'm going to hit you back harder and faster, and that's what happened this game. Holy cow, they played so much better than they did game 1.
Got to watch out for these Huskar teams. Seen quite a few series this tournament where Huskar has managed to show his face in the draft. Some very, very strong Huskar players in the mix this time. Mate. Go for the TP out, these two, of course. Nothing to stop that. Smoke up from XG. Seeing if they find someone out on their own, but NAVI very grouped up here. And also finding themselves an amplified damage room for Niku. So XG are going to have to seriously consider if they want to try and fight into this. It will be very, very difficult. Probably have to hold back with the remainder of the smoke.
Oh, hello there.
He's going to go for the TP out, XXS, and he'll be okay.
Closer than he expected because of that DD. Actually, he's doing a great job of still finding farm. The X-Nova still out of the map farming.
Nothing to say struggling, though. It has to TP out each and every time they find him. Ooh, that's a little bit awkward. They'll probably kill him off anyway, so you know what? Doesn't matter. They don't even need to land the Sonic Waves at this point to kill off. Nothing to say on the mid. They'll drop the Golem for FY. Up under the tier 3 tower. Another death. And now NAVI, they can get on with the push with this Golem. Onto the tier 3s in the mid.
In the meantime, Niku is just soloing Roche while his team pushes Rax. Not often you see that.
They're just in this position where they can get away with achieving multiple objectives.
Niku, this could get a little spicy. We'll see.
Let's see, can they mess around with him?
Nature's Prophet is thinking about it. They know they need to do something desperate, to be honest.
It's happening too fast, though. And Zeiss is going to be here in case anything does go down. So Niku will be fine to finish off the Roche, get that Aegis.
And the push is coming now. There's no need for them to slow down. Nature's Prophet's inventory has a glove, a circlet, and a javelin at 24 minutes.
That's tough.
It is dark times for XG.
It's tough. Here's the smoke. NAVI. So they're going to find FY. Niku will go for him. Will be the TP out. In fact, coming in with the grab. XXS trying to turn things. Can they even burst him the once? The defensive disruption comes in, keeping Niku safe. Niku's going to be perfectly fine, keeping the Aegis intact. And now can turn towards Arme. He's trying to get away with the borrowed time, but it comes to an end. Niku jumps in. FY will manage to hold Niku back, at least give Arme the opportunity to live. He'll turn his efforts over towards Got the Juice, but XG they have to back up into the fountain with his dagger spam just coming in from Got the Juice. Arme barely able to make it back into the fountain.
They're all
to survive.
alive. Never mind, they're all
end up
dead.
Popping to that Aghanim's dagger there from Got the Juice as he is just bullying them into the fountain. Niku, he wants a part of the fun as well. He's ready to start hanging around here, ensuring that XG is just completely trapped inside their fountain. NAVI, they can get on with the tier 4s, and they can get on with getting the win. The GG comes out from Xtreme. NAVI striking back fantastically hard in this game too. The Huskar pick and the Huskar play, it was perfect here.
It really was, and also a special shout out to Got the Juice. What an all-star performance from him.
Game 3 here, ladies and gentlemen, and Quinn, I like these teams. You know, that brings something a bit new to sort of a stage of which where we've seen the same stuff over and over again. We're getting some newer stuff once again here, or at least there's some fresh stuff relative to these other games and matches that we've seen. NAVI, last game, they loved the carry quad. They do it again. Got the Juice says, give me the hero. I completely owned on it on game 2. I want to do it again here in game 3. And then XG, they've got sort of the boldness to bring out some heroes that we're just not seeing. There's a Mirana in the game.
Yeah, I'm not 100% sure why there's a Mirana, but there is, and that's cool. For NAVI, I think this Queen is not as good as it was last time because it's got a Shadow Fiend on his team. It's a lot of overlap and magic damage. The heroes are a bit awkward, a little bit wonky. You've got Clockwork is sort of your only real actual setup. Your hero, he needs to be in every kill. And that hero I'm dubious about its quality. So I think Navi, their draft is not bad, but actually definitely have much better chances than they did last game.
A very, very important game, of course, for both of these teams here. We'll see who's going to be able to take home the win. And yeah, just see what Amarana does in this day and age. I mean, as the panel said, no reason to believe and trust in Xnova's ability on this hero. But you know, just to kind of keep it simple, you know, why does nobody play this?
The hero doesn't really do very much damage at all. Starfall is, you need to be very close to them to use the spell effectively. So in the early game, Starfall can be really powerful. But once you start getting to those mid-game phases, the hero doesn't really have any damage at all. And her third and fourth spells literally do 0 damage. So she's very much about the gold and using items and using the invisibility from Moonlight Shadow, which is a very powerful spell, but her impact is less clear and the execution is a little bit harder. You need to go in and out with this invis.
Oh, for sure. And what do you sort of make of having Arme on the DK for this game?
I think it's a pretty good DK game. I would be very happy to play this DK, carry this game. There's none of those like classic DK counters. There's no Terrorblades, Muertas. As that's an early TP.
Yeah, nothing to say. You know, we saw him do this last time round. Very, very good at finding these early TP opportunities. You know, sure, that the sort of long terms of the game too weren't too great, but these early moves, he was there every time.
And this time it's the first blood he gets. It's not just any normal kill. It's a very big deal, and this mid lane will not be as near as bad for him as the last one was. Nature's Prophet, pretty good answer against Shadow Fiend.
Yeah, we'll see again exactly how this went down, getting that chance to set up and bully the Quap here on that level 1.
Very similar thing to last game. Couldn't quite get to the blink in time. And PMA is getting slapped up here right now. Potom is looking amazing so far. Against this double melee, he's pretty untouchable. Against the Clockwork, can just leap out of the cogs. And PMA might even die here.
Got the stick charges. And tangoing up. That tango regen will keep him fine.
Does have a salve, so he'll be okay. But 14-1 to 3-0. This lane is a disaster.
Yeah. I mean, what do they have to do about this? We'll get sort of some creep wave moves coming into play.
Yeah, they just need to pull some waves, create some shenanigans, because this Mirana has just right-clicked them a million times in a row, and they just can't fight back. Clockwork, it's a hero we've seen some great games from and some really horrendous games from, and this is not the start you want to have on this hero.
I mean, that's true to sort of point out, right? Navi's duo are kind of the two supports that you've yourself sort of questioned in some situations, right? They got both of them.
Yeah, I'm personally not a huge fan of the support duo. They like the Warlock a lot. It works well for them. Riddies is a great Warlock player, so I don't mind that one so much. The Clock, to me, it looked terrible last game. And to pick a hero that just lost looked really bad in a situation that I don't think it was necessarily a great Clock game, I just don't understand. So maybe they'll show me the light.
Radiant's courier
fine.
killed.
And we'll snipe the courier here. I've got the juice. I've got the juice. Despite that early death, kind of similar to last game, his farm still good out of the lane. 16-3 against the slight lead that XXS has, the 18-5.
Pango is a much more robust laner than Primal Beast, so there's a world where Queen, especially not maxing the dagger, can get spammed out of lane by this Pangolier. We know that hero's spamming potential. And SD putting the Disseminate on top of him. It's a lot of damage. These Nature's Prophet TPs will continue. But I like this from Zayats. Taking a look towards mid, maybe you can find some angle. Looks like he's not going to now. But I think abusing this Nature's Prophet, that is one of his weaknesses, is if you actually take the fight to him and he's not TPing somewhere else, he doesn't get that barrier, and he doesn't pick on sort of the weak heroes, he can die very easily if they find the angle for it.
Got the juice. Keeping us cool. Knows that these two can't quite burst him yet. I mean, and on that top lane as well, as we talked about the tie, but in the sense of how it was picked here, did that sort of come as a surprise to you, or do you sort of see why Navi did want to settle with putting PMA on the tide this time around?
Yeah, I think it makes sense. I think their heroes need a beefy boy. When you've got Queen, Shadow Fiend, you've got these two range cores, you need someone who's going to get in there, start fights. Last game it was the DK. This game, Tidehunter, it's a great answer to the DK. in lane. You can see after that rough start, he's still doing fine there. Just puts 2 points in the Kraken, and DK and Potom, they just don't do enough damage to harass him down. So we can just stand there, be this blob, be this sort of unkillable force, and when you can get that on a game and tide, the hero is very, very powerful. Having a hero that can just stand there, get farm, freeze up your supports to roam around and do whatever they want.
NiKu and Zayats on the chase down for FY, getting blood grenaded after blood grenaded into body blocked. Nowhere for FY to run, as NiKu's able to swing across and get a tasty kill.
Nice. That was the well-executed kill. As I say that, they are beating him up pretty good. But he'll continue to stick around. He'll be okay. Just some annoyance. He's caught almost all the way back up.
Yeah, he really has, yeah, after a very slow first few waves, as we saw in the CS. He's doing pretty much just fine now. Even in these situations where he's being left on his own.
Yeah. If you're Navi, I think you want to continue to use the Shadow Fiend to get kills on these runes. Zayats is going to get him.
He's going to get the setup. Arcane runes down. Zayats has to be the one to grab it. FY looking to be in quite a bit of trouble as he'll fall. Can they get kills in return? They can. They'll jump forward, clean up Zayats, but NiKu will be able to survive.
A good play nonetheless, but this Vessel is coming out very quickly. Got the juice. He is very low HP bottom. XXS just straight up winning this lane. How can he deal with the spam, right? I mean, the Warlock can heal him up some, but Warlock's got no mana right now. He's going straight back to base. That is not what you want to see. Queen was powerful last game because he was involved in these kills. He had the snowball running. They stole the Wisdom Rune. Everything was going his way. This game, that's not the same thing. And Queen of Pain, famously a hero that is super bad at farming neutral creeps. So until he's much higher level, he's going to need to be fighting these heroes, and this Pangolier is going to keep sticking it to him.
Absolutely. I mean, is there any sort of chance that, you know, in the next 5 minutes or so, Navi still have some sort of timing that they could hit to get a snowball going, or is that just unlikely with their lineup against what Xtreme have?
It's pretty tough right now. The issue is if you try to smoke Shadow Fiend to anywhere, he's most of your damage, right? You need him in the kills. If you smoke him somewhere, the Furion can TP and turn things around, and this Pangolier is super hard to gank, even if Shadow Fiend were to come.
So you don't go for the fight down bottom. TP's backup's going to be coming in here from nothing to say. But the disruption setup on towards Zayats into the arrow, perfectly done. So kills Zayats off, and Navi not able to scramble any sort of kill back their way there into that fight against XG.
NiKu doing the right thing, realizing that he actually can't really gank anywhere. Playing for the economy, pushing in the mid wave, hitting the tower some. He's going to need to have a really great individual performance this game, I think, for Navi to come out on top, because it is an awkward early game. They can't really make any clear moves. They're going to need to farm. They're going to need to clutch up some of these skirmishes that inevitably happen. What the heck? Is this a peace treaty game?
Application to supports watching one another. A setup's going to be there first, though, from Xtreme as they catch Zayats. Raises come in from NiKu, not enough to burst Xnova down. I'll say that, though. Xnova's kind of caught in the river, and
that's so lucky. Holy cow, you got to be so pissed if you're NiKu there.
NiKu not able to chase up into the high ground quite yet, so still these sort of little moves that are enabling Xtreme to get a kill here and there whilst getting the favored farm in the lane matchups, and Navi not really having the opportunities to actually get kills back in return, going their ways, landing towards XG, starting to build this lead.
And the real loser in all of this is Clockwork. Level 3, and no, I mean, he's got level 4 after that ward D-ward. It's pretty nice for him, but doesn't really have any clear move options. I think they need to combine him with this Warlock Rock, get some kills somewhere. They've got the 2 book charges. He is in range of the 6 if he eats them, so they've got a little bit more potential. Is Ame actually making the first move?
Very much knows that first Dragon Form, it's not going to be easy to really put pressure on the top tower with the Tide sitting there. And swinging down to the bottom side of the map, much more likely that they can get away with some good early pressure. And of course, if anyone from Navi does turn up here, they're probably not going to fare too well. This is going to be a spot of the map that Navi's going to have to completely vacate and just let XG take this early tower around the first Dragon Form.
Yeah, Navi, they've got all these fighting spells. They haven't found a way to actually use them yet. They're getting some pressure on the top tower. And PMA continuing to farm up. Eventually, he'll have Blink Dagger and Shard and all these ways to start things. But for now, they're content to just farm up and I understand why. There's not a clear place for them to get those kills at. But I think it's good that they're not over-forcing things. They're not trying to make something happen that isn't there, because that's a very quick way to speedrun the enemy having a gold lead.
Keeping their cool for now, Na'Vi, despite this pressure. FY seeing if he gets the chance for a sneaky setup in the mid. This Invis. The disruption, arrow coming in from a perfect angle. X-Nova very much showing that even though we don't really get the chance to see the Mirana SD much combo come out in these kind of high-level games, but when he does bring it in, he's got that timing absolutely down to a T.
I feel like I'm back in 2013 watching FY and Fenrir. I feel like that's the last time you saw these SD combos, SD Lesh,
it's pretty
SD
old
Mirana.
school.
It's some old school stuff. It's cool to see. It's very, very nostalgic. I feel like a teenager watching Dota from my bedroom.
Yeah, because it really was one of those sort of just simple strats that you would have watched back in the day, and then you want to queue it up with the boys. You're like, guys, let's just play a pub, go to a lane, we'll do a tri-lane. You know, back in the day when tri-lanes were sort of the thing, at least in pub games, and just go some sort of nasty SD Mirana or Bane Mirana and just stun the hell out of someone and kill them. It was great fun. Of course, nowadays it's not necessarily going to get you the win, but it still feels good.
It is
when
cool.
you land those simple combos early on in the game.
Speaking of simple combos, Riddy's dropping rock on the ground, about as simple as it gets.
Actually, they're more than happy to turn up and get this push off the tower, though.
Yeah, I think his rock is actually going to live, but definitely not the ideal first use case for that. To be honest, this is much more what I'd expect from an XG game in terms of pace. They're content farming, and if I'm honest, Navi doesn't really have play options that much, so XG in the driver's seat, and they're choosing to put the car in neutral, and they will not touch that pedal.
But with this sort of time, you know, Navi having this SF mid, you could definitely take the sort of greedy position, make the most of the fact that nothing too crazy is going down, it's not getting too chaotic. So very likely to see solid timings on Nico on the SF. And all in all, you know, how much potential does a Shadow Fiend have in this sort of game?
It's okay. I think it's not the greatest core pairing with Queen of Pain. They're both heroes that want someone else to go in for them first. They want to follow up, use that magic damage. You can see they're both buying Kaya variant items. So there's a little bit of overlap in the things they're buying. This Orchid coming out from Nothing to Say is going to be really powerful against both of them. And it just feels like the execution will be a little bit easier for XG. Also, this Mirana ult, mentioned it briefly earlier, it's a really, really good game for it. They lock a lot of catch. So this Invis, this moving around, will be really difficult for Navi to actually get a real solid hold on XG.
Radiant are scanning.
So that's just an undefended mid tower.
XG. Ready to swing up towards the top tier one as well next. Seeing if they can catch any heroes on the way over. And they will see Zayat in a bit of an awkward spot. So XG should be able to pick up the kill. And probably pick up the tower as well here as Na'Vi continue to not be interested in sort of just showing up as a team yet. They're not ready to try and push back against this pressure from XG. And I say that though, a smoke up has come from the two of them. Got the juice, it's got to be careful. Still feels very hard for Na'Vi to do something unless XG overstep the mark in towards Na'Vi. And they might around this 14-minute wisdom. The Ravage is going to be dropped onto XXS. They're going to look to just burn through the Pango. All the ultimates dropped on towards XXS. It will do the job. They do get the kill, and they will be able to keep their Shrine of Wisdom safe. Takes quite a bit though.
It turned up and said, screw you in particular, XXS. Go back to your base. But Ame sticking around a little long.
So they can chase him down. It's kind of difficult with the heroes they have. A lot of the, or pretty much all of the lockdown, relying on the Ravage or the hook shot. So any other time, could pretty much just walk it off if you're XG.
He really did just walk away. And we're going to see a lot more of that, I think. But it's a good spot to fight for Navi. I'm glad they brought the heroes. They got to actually use their spells, even if it's just for one kill. It may look a little bit silly, but they were not finding anything for a long time.
Oh, look at this. They see him under the ward. XXS made this sneaky little smoke play to get over here.
Wow.
Very, very fast moves there from XG. They may have got XXS earlier, but he ensures that he strikes back and gets a very nice catch there with the help and nothing to say joining him.
It's very big. It's the top net worth hero of NAVI. Still is, but it just feels like the teams have alternated having these games where they just can't do anything.
And X-Nova not missing any arrows this game.
He's not. Nothing to say. 7-0-1, the complete opposite of last game. He's everywhere. He's top net worth, and he can do whatever he wants. And NAVI, they're just passively farming. Queen is farming Ancients. She's screaming it I don't know how many times, 4 times to kill the Ancients. Like, this is not what you want to see. You pick Queen of Pain, you want to win the lane, you want to have tempo. This is not what NAVI had in mind.
No.
And the gold lead is going to show how slow this hero farms and NAVI's hero issues as more time passes.
Dire's middle tower.
So you're looking for the 16-minute power in. It's going to end up being top. X-Nova will take it just to be safe.
The seeds of
NAVI, I mean, because what timing are they looking towards when they're sort of being forced into this position? Very difficult for them to turn up. Do you still want to see them kind of go all in around the sort of these 3 big ult timings, you know, once the Ravage is back online with the Requiem and Golem, and just try and make a play happen? Or are you sitting back and having to hold those timings for when XG come running at you?
I feel like, I mean, Tide right now has a Lotus queued up, and I feel like he's gonna commit to buying it. But I feel like they need a Blink Dagger, because sitting around and farming like this, inevitably XG is gonna find openings to get kills, and they're gonna start to bridge that gap a little further, whereas NAVI, they just have no opportunity to kill anyone, and that's a really sad state to be in, because the enemy can farm or they can kill you, they can go for objectives, they have the choice on what to do, and you have to respond to them. And it's not a nice position to be in. They are still farming okay, they're keeping things close, but
Dire are scanning.
it feels like a storm is brewing.
Yeah, they're going to have to shake something up big time when that team fight does come into play. It is an area of the game where they will have, you know, some relative strength, even against a lineup that, as you can see, still maintains this 4K lead against them. They're going to try for the smoke, see if they do find any sort of slip-ups or mistakes from XG. Because again, they've got these big ultimates, NAVI.
Dire's middle tower has fallen.
Do they see Ame?
Ame's going to steal them
Ame's
first, in
down.
fact. He's going to jump in. They will respond to it. Drop the ultimates. The Ravage, the Golem dropped down. What the heck? He missed the Sonic Wave. It looks like it might not matter. Well, it might matter.
It matters a lot.
He's going to be dead for that.
Ame's not even dead.
Dear.
Oh my gosh.
Oh, and he's going to be saved with the disruption. Gets out with the blink. Oh my goodness, that has got to feel pretty rough.
Oh, I think if you Google split the wickets, it's a picture of what just happened. Holy crap, he tried to get both, and he came away with nothing, and that is costly. Oh my.
Ouch. Well, not ouch. Nobody got hit, but
That's right.
ouch. That's, unfortunately, forgot the juice. We're going to have to see it again here in this replay.
Oh no. Dude, the thing is, if he just ulted the DK, the Murata would have died
From
to the
the
fatal
fatal,
bond.
yeah.
They would have got both kills. They would have both lived.
That's really painful.
Oh,
Ouch. Well, XG's going to be smiling. That went beautifully for them. Ame gets to walk out alive. They need their spells to hit there. NAVI, without that, that's it's just going to make the game harder, and they're just going to have to wait for that next sort of round of ultimates. It's going to be like, right, well, I guess we're waiting for the next Ravage and Chaotic offering before we try something again. Obviously, with that time, XG very likely to get further and further ahead.
They are, and Niku has picked up the Blink, but the only way he can actually use his Blink is off a hook. But it has to be super well timed with this Pangolier, because he does have the Shard. You get a D-ward on bottom, which is pretty nice, but definitely does not feel easy. And I think NAVI can feel that claustrophobia setting in too. They're looking. Can they time it?
Ame.
Uh-oh. Yeah.
I mean, you know, Diet's every single time, Ame's just got his number. It's like, you know, Zayas is trying to set up these plays. Arme just immediately jumping him first.
It's just such a free Dragon Knight game, no kill threat whatsoever. DK's most vulnerable point is this early game. You gank him, you shut him down, you have Vessels, you have this early momentum, and he's not a hero that can fight super well in these skirmishes early game, but there's no skirmishing from NAVI, there's no Vessel, there's no nothing. There's just sort of slow farming as they're now down 8k, 4-13. It's quite a passive game, but it feels like it's just sand is slipping through NAVI's fingers.
It's tough. It's tough. You know, we saw them pop off in game 2, but maybe a lot of that was kind of just down to them having that Huskar effect. You know, without it against XG, they struggled in game 1, NAVI, and here in game 3, the struggles certainly seem very real once again.
Absolutely. The struggle bus has left the station. And NAVI is all aboard.
Xtreme, they're on the hunt. Moonlight Shadow here, they're ready to get in position to look for some action. FY! Ah! He's got the setup. Won't get the follow-up immediately. They'll drop the Demonic Purge down onto Got the Juice. Want to turn and use the Sonic Wedge.
Hey, hit him.
He did! And it might just save him. And he's able to get out. I think that's how. What happened to the arrow? Did he? I think he got blocked by the creep.
Hit the range creep, yeah.
Creep's got in the way that time, so couldn't quite find the follow-up that time around X-Nova off the back of the disruption.
Close but no cigar, but they'll be happy with the kill nonetheless. Zayat's doing a little sneaky maneuver for the Wisdom Rune, but it ain't there, brother.
Already gone.
Nature's Prophet on top of that, and he almost has the BKB. With that online, if you're not 100-0ing him, he's not dying, as Navi's damage is all magic damage. One of the big issues in this Queen Shadow Fiend, it's way different than Queen Huskar together. Huskar gives you the Roche, gives you the tower damage, gives you everything. Much like a certain other hero combo we know of. But SF Queen, SF's not the right clicker he used to be. Very different heroes.
Very, very true. And he also, especially with the sort of situations that we've seen already, they've got to be careful in these team fights because the Requiem, you know, if that comes in first, that could make it a little harder to hit these Ravages and Sonic Waves. You know, it could go horribly wrong.
There's definitely some pushing around. Maybe someone gets cogged.
Oh, that's true as well, the cogs. So at least, you know, for the Quap, for the Tide, they've got excuses. They're like, well, my clock is pushing them out the way, or my SF's pushing them out the way of the Requiem. There was no excuses, of course, on that one down on the bottom, but there's potential. So they have to be careful that they don't mess up each other's game in these team fights, Navi. Everything has to land.
They do. Oh, Nature's Prophet TPing top. Run for your life, Riddies. Nice TP. I mean, one bright spot for Navi is there's no dispels coming out for Xtreme yet. It's just the BKBs. So if Riddies gets a really good bonds off, then the magic damage can amplify really quickly. Whoops.
Probably not got any way out of this.
No.
TP's still on cooldown, and even if it was there, they've got the stuns. Arme. Another chance to kill off Zayat. He's been able to do that quite a few times here, Arme. Again, just completely having this clock's number.
One of the major problems with these games where you're behind and you can't get any kills is your supports really suffer. Zayat's also going a super greedy build, going for the Ags. He is far away from that, so he's practically got no items in his inventory.
Oh, nothing to say. Found Riddies, and this time he doesn't have a TP, even if he did. Very, very dead.
And what can you do if you're the Navi supports, right? You can't kill anyone, and you're not farming anything. It feels like you're almost not even playing the game if you're them.
Yeah, you just got to hope that your cores hit their spells in these team fights. Without that, it's just not going to happen. Can Navi find this team fight? They've got the BKB now. Done here on the SF. Very close to having the Aghanims on Got the Juice. So the team fight potential will level up.
It will. It's just a matter of, can you get the connection? I think if you actually get to use your spells and burst people, then there's some potential there, but the execution is the hard part. Tide and Clockwork, they're spotted on wards, they see them coming. It's not easy to get this jump off.
And Arme considering getting the jump back onto them. Watching from the high ground here, though. Got some information with the rocket flare.
And this whole time while XG is hunting, nothing to say, is farming. There in spirit. The teleport as he continues to farm out. Riddies knows he's farming, I guess. What the heck is this tip about?
Maybe a sign of things to come. They tip him, and then they kill him 30 seconds later. Here comes the smoke.
I mean, his dragon form is running out soon. It's a pretty good opportunity for Navi.
See if they get the jump. Now he's got the BKB ready to press Arme. The hook shot to open things up, though. Look for the Requiem. The disruption save's going to be coming in. They'll turn their attention over towards FY to kill him off. But can they get out? Got the juice, gets jumped upon.
Oh, no.
Absolutely destroyed it by the damage coming out from Arme. Cleans up Riddies. Now can turn towards PMA. As they couldn't quite get the combo off, even if it was kind of perfectly there. This disruption was coming into play anyway. They couldn't get the job done. They lose 3 lives. They only end up killing FY.
We talk about execution. What was the execution? If they Ravage him and Requiem on top, he will die. Like the Ravage will...
Yeah, there was a bit of what, hold back. They held back a little bit on the Ravage timing?
They pressed hook. They didn't press Ravage at all. He literally didn't use it.
They still holding back. Yeah,
yeah.
That's true.
He held way back.
Yeah. So hook shot.
He didn't Ravage. Like, if he just Ravaged him, I think he's dead.
Was his blink still cooldown, though?
From what?
From maybe blinking earlier to get a little closer to... I don't know, but yeah, it didn't land. It wasn't there. But at least, you know, the Ravage is going to be there when he's up. You know, you got to think of the silver lining.
Saving it for next game.
Losing a horrific team fight.
That's good thinking.
Yep. Oh, back in action. Got the juice. It's going to get glimmered.
Got the glimmer. He died so fast to that Dragonite.
Yeah, this damage from Arme is getting pretty ridiculous. He's having a fantastic game. Top net worth on this Dragonite.
Full Daedalus completed. That is ouchie. He needs that plate mail so he can actually live a bit longer.
Let's have a look what we get here. Already the jump on towards Riddies at the side. They're getting kind of split apart here. PMA will have to back up under the tier 2. Again, just falling so low to the right-click damage now from Arme. As Riddies gone for 30.
That tier 2 just evaporated.
Radiant's top tower has fallen.
Still 4 minutes. With this Aegis, plenty of time for XG to continue to play fast, playing it once again as they did in game 1 at an excellent pace here. 20-5, 27 minutes here, 14k lead. Absolute control of the game. And Navi, again, as we say, we're just looking towards the team fight potential for them to try and shake XG back up, but it's just not happening. The level of execution required for Navi, it's just not come out of them so far this game.
It is not. And it's only going to get harder. AC being worked on by nothing to say. Ame, during the duration of this Aegis, it's very possible he gets all the way to the Satanic. Ags on Pango. So many items coming out. It's going to take some real pristine gameplay.
Everything's back up on Navi. They've got the buttons ready to press. Niku, though, he's going to be forced to BKB TP. So the fight won't occur here. Arrow.
That arrow skin is like kind of hard to see, I feel like.
It's quite a small one. Yeah, it's a good one, that one.
I feel like...
I mean, it's one of the reasons why a lot of Mirana players like to still pick Mirana, is because you do have pretty cool cosmetics. There's a lot of... You kind of get choice paralysis when it comes to picking your mount.
There's so many
Mirana mounts, and there's a lot of very good ones.
I feel like you got to use the bunny if you got it.
I like some of them, because there's so many, there's some that look like really good, and then there's like the older ones that look like incredibly scuffed. You know, like 10 polygons, you know. I like those ones. I think, yeah, there's like a... I think, is it... this bunny's like... Is this a bunny?
No, that's not the bunny. Wait, is it
this is kind of a bunny.
No, it's got like wings.
It's like a flying bunny.
That's a clockwork.
That is a bunny, that is a bunny.
I thought I was tripping. You were saying...
No, but I mean, I was talking about the Mirana. Is this like a bunny? Oh, okay,
it's like a fairy. What is that?
It's not like, I don't know, it's some indescribable...
It almost looks like a fish a little bit.
A fish?
Kinda.
I wouldn't eat that fish. Something weird in the water that's been swimming, and if it ends up looking like that, that's... radioactive fish. Oh, Niku. Close to the Aghanims. But they're coming back with the TP. Nothing to say. Is he going to spot anyone? Do they want to go on him? Oh, perfect timing! They get him. Now, can they get out? BKB TP for Niku. He's out of there. Arme, quick with the blink. Look for the TP out, but they'll catch him. So, they'll certainly take that.
They will.
Certainly take that. It's clean. They get a big kill. They kill nothing to say. The money ends up going the way of Got the Juice. Very happy with that. He's the carry.
That is big. That is very big. Niku has a very sus item queued up right now. I hope he does not buy that. He has the pike queued up. I don't know why.
For the secret tech.
Yeah. Wait, can you inform me and the viewers what that secret tech is?
You click them on someone and it uses the active.
How does that work with Demonic Purge?
Yeah. Actually, no, that's true. It does.
No, it doesn't.
Right?
No. They removed it.
I thought that was the tech, right? Because you can't force or be forced. But if you active, you're right. They fixed it. That was the last patch, which was still a long time ago. Anyway, XXS.
Niku died.
And he's dead. He's dead. Does not have the money for buyback. He's out for a minute. Let's see what XG want to do with this. They might chill a little bit because the Aegis is about to come to an end. And whilst they do have this pretty sizable lead, this is a very important game to close up. So I would not be surprised if we do see XG take a bit more careful of a way out of this one. This is not a game where you want to run high ground into a team fight and give Navi the chance to come back in. So XG, they might just wait for the next rush.
I totally agree. And there's no reason not to, really. They've got the AC completed now. I could also see them take a fight outside of base, but in terms of straight up going high ground,
yep,
I think they will continue to do their best Scrooge McDuck impression and amass gold in a big mountain, bathe in milk, whatever rich people do.
That just doesn't sound that pleasant.
It doesn't. It sounds kind of...
I don't want milk.
Sounds like it smells bad.
Yeah, it's not going to make you smell any better. Well, it depends how smelly you are in the first place. So, maybe milk is a preferable smell. Anyway, he did change up his build. He's not buying the Hurricane Pike. He's changing. He's going for something I think you're a bit more happy with on the SF.
Yeah, that looks a little more in line with the rest of his items.
You blink him, you hex him, you requiem him.
You kill him.
Oh, PMA though. They'll find him. Taking a little bit of a walk outside of the base. A ravage, but a ravage for what? He's dead. Out for a minute. And he does not have buyback. 1,200 gold short. At the least, though, there might be the saving grace that XG, as I say, are kind of waiting for the next row. So they might not push in during this time when he's dead.
I think Navi would prefer if they pushed and fight 4v5 at the base rather than continue to get choked out like this.
Shiva's guard. No, Donald got the juice.
They've got two Shivas. Don't see that too often.
Oh. Thoughts?
Probably better to have an AC and a Shivas than two Shivas.
Especially when the enemy, nothing to say, just picked up an AC himself. Yeah, would have been nice to counteract. I mean, who has more claim to the Shivas in this game? The Tide or the Quap?
I'm going to say Quap, probably.
Sure. Well, listen to the carry. Carry wants Shivas, you let him be the one with the Shivas.
That's right.
Yeah.
We all know how carry players can be. And Got the Juice actually takes the unusual 20 talent. He takes the Sonic Wave reduction talent, but he's got the Ags. He's playing this sort of slow. He's got Octarine queued up. He's very much the, I'm going to poke you down build.
I don't mind that. I don't mind that as well because it's kind of a losing game, right? Where you're going to be pressed into the base and wanting to clear waves, right? Yeah. So then playing with the low Sonic Wave cooldown, that's pretty nice for just making sure the 3 waves aren't shoving in on your high ground, right?
It's something for sure.
Quick push.
You just wonder, is it playing not to lose or is it playing to win? We'll have to wait and see.
And because they'll be able to keep these waves held back, especially once Zayas has got the Axe himself. You know, for the rocket flares, for the eventual low cooldown Sonic waves, many ways they can burst the waves. And eventually, right, if this Tide wants to get an Axe, we're going to see the jump again. Arme! Zayas is found every single time by him. Gets the kill. That's the 2 supports of Navi gone. The cores have to run. And XG, it's going to be 2.5 minutes until the Roshan before they look to that.
For now, they're pushing bottom wave in, but it doesn't look like Arme is interested in hitting the high ground. He's interested in hitting more creeps.
He is. And getting his blink upgraded And this one, the preferable one for you, right? Yeah, you want to see your Swift Blink DKs.
Yeah, Overwhelming Blink has just been nerfed too much.
Yep.
Item's kind of bad, and Arcane Blink also has gotten nerfed and is hyper-situational on who buys it.
God, the Juice has got to be careful. He's a little tempted for the 35-minute wisdom, but he knows he can't go for that. No.
Cooped up inside the base. Causes real problems for your economy, and you can see it ballooning up for Spirit. Or not Spirit. Xtreme. Wrong team.
They're not even in this game.
Wrong team alert.
Spoilers as well. I think they didn't do too great. Oh no, they did. They did very. Actually, they did very great.
They
did so good in that Falcon series that their net worth has ballooned into this game.
They incepted into my mind and into this game.
Yeah, they had a great time over there.
Radiant's top tower
They actually signed Leonardo DiCaprio as a content creator.
I don't get that reference, but someone out there does, Quinn.
Radiant are
NAVI. PMA. He's going to see what he can sort of tease out of XG. Got the Juice jumping in as well, getting the daggers out. They're playing aggressive here, NAVI. Trying to get XG to show their hand.
Poke the Aeon and the roll.
That's going to be the BKB from Arme. He's just commits it onto PMA and kills him off before he's able to get the Ravage off. That's the tie dead. They found Niku and got the Juice off to the side of the fight as well. Got the Juice getting burst low. He'll be able to blink out as Zayat's once again dying to Arme. Arme really hates this clock. He's going to also be able to swing across, finish off Got the Juice, get the double kill. Arme godlike, as to no surprise in this game. And Niku. He's still got the BKB if he does feel threatened. He's going to have to press it. And he has to use the Requiem as well to keep them off him.
Okay, maybe.
Indeed, with these raises, he's bringing nothing to say low. He's going to have Blink in a second and a TP. They're not going to keep hunting for him. You know, they're like, you know what? We don't care. We're just going to get this push coming in because that's your Requiem on cooldown for a minute. You're much less of a threat. We're just ready to run down the lanes and hit the base.
Yeah, 3 dead. It's hard to point out a problem with that. Looks almost like a free Rax here. They'll use the glyph, but only delaying the inevitable.
Let's have a look. NAVI. They'll have the Ravage. They'll have the Golem. But they won't have the bottom Rax. XG's already taken those and ready to swing straight across to the mid lane. Fortification comes out. XG, they do have the luxury of that Roche. Back on the map if they want to head back and get that pickup.
They will very gladly oblige Daedalus now on nothing to say as well.
I mean, do you smoke up and go all out? Yes, you do. Yes, you do. NAVI, they want to make sure they go out with a bang. They go for this risky move. They don't want to sit back in the base. They're going to put everything they've got into this. If this doesn't work out, might just be the end of the road here for them. And
great scan from XG.
They're respecting this. They're backing out. Holding the high ground. PMA, they make the jump. They get the Ravage straight away on towards the two of them. It's a beautiful start to the fight. They blow up both Nothing to Say and X-Nova.
Their supports get disintegrated on the background by Ame, though.
The cause of NAVI. Now going to get chased down. NAVI, how do they want to respond to this? Might just have to let PMA go. I don't think Got the Juice or Niku's going to want to show their faces. They'll just start backing off. It's not turning the game around, but it's something.
It is.
And it's, you know, good. Well, they're still sticking around to see if they could get something out of this with the two of them. I mean, can they do this? Got the Juice is going to find the jump over towards FY. They've got the refresh here. Niku gets the Requiem off. But Arme's just able to kill him off through the BKB. Got the Juice trying to kill off FY, but he can't do it alone. The Rolling Thunder keeps him in position, locks him down, sets up for Arme to get the triple. They tried to push their luck again there, NAVI. See if they could get some sort of sneaky counterplay with just the two of them left alive around the pit. They couldn't do so. They end up losing both their lives on top of the previous ones around them. And Roshan will still fall into the hands of Xtreme. Arme with the Aegis.
It's hard to blame them for the attempt. If they just let them get the Aegis and come marching toward your base, it's almost an inevitability that your Ancient will fall. It was a great attempt here. The support's just getting insta-give back there and hurting your chances for a future fight. And now NAVI, 3 dead. Aegis on Ame, 14, 0, and 8. Full Lisan Al-Gaib mode.
He's played this beautifully here on the Dragon Knight. NAVI, what do they got left? No Niku SF for 25 seconds. Xtreme. Clean up the mid racks. Top racks as well going to fall, so the mega creeps are out. And they're ready to just continue to just play aggressive and jump in on towards them up to the tier 4s. NAVI, they'll have one more fight left in them. There has to be something spectacular if they want to have a chance of sort of pushing back XG. They get the jump in onto nothing to say, but they just turn, kill Zeiss off that massive crit there coming out from Arme to take down Riddies. They'll buy back here on the 2 supports of NAVI. They do have the Requiem and the Ravage at the ready. And they find a chance, though, to get on top of Arme. It's pretty difficult. He's just taking out their tier 4s and absolutely destroying anyone that dares get anywhere close to him. They smoke up for an attempt to try and get a jump in. Got the Juice trying to pull the creep waves off the tier 4. Glimmer keeping Got the Juice safe for now from Arme. They have the Golem as well now. So the combo's there. PMA's in with the Ravage, but it's an immediate BKB coming out from both FY and nothing to say. They turn towards him. He's going to try for the TP out, but the Abyssal comes in. That's PMA gone for good. Out for 80. There's XG. They've got the freedom to step up and look for more. Niku's going to try and jump in with the Requiem. It's a pretty solid one as well. Takes out FY. Turns with the raises over towards Arme. But there's not going to be enough persistent damage to threaten the Dragon Knight beyond those raises. Arme jumps over, cleans up Zeiss with the help and nothing to say. And they're back onto the tier 4s. The Ancient's exposed. Got the Juice attempts to push them back with the Sonic Wave, but the heals are there. He'll jump forward, but gets caught in the Sprout. This game's over. GG is called. Xtreme, they'll take the victory today, 2-1. And both of the wins in the series from them looking very, very impressive. This game 3, expertly executed.
It really was. It was the upstarts, the young guns against a lot of veterans on XG.